Hello, my friends. We're here today talking about project schedule management and Gantt charts. I decided to use a very simple tool. I know many people are scared of other tools like the Microsoft projects of this world, so I've decided to keep it very simple. The question is, how best can we use Gantt charts to track programs? In other words, several interrelated projects. Now, you might have seen my video where I show you how to combine several projects to make a program in SmartSheet. But I want to even go lower level than that, easier than that. I want to make it very simple. If you are a project coordinator and you've been asked to track your projects in one singular file and you have the flexibility from the get-go, this is what I would do. I would start off a brand new project, something new. Let's create new, and we are going to do a very simple project. And I know some of you have other things you use, but let's just go ahead and use whatever we get from SmartSheet as the example. All right, so here we go. I want a very simple task tracker, and there we are on the Gantt view. Let's make it small enough. All right, so it's given me options, right? I'm going to get rid of all the options. I don't want to use what it has. I'm going to start my own thing, and this is what I would do. For every project, let's say we got a software project, we got a hardware project, we got an implementation of sorts, we've got corporate training, and let's say we have departmental assessments. Did I get that spelling right? Oh dear. Sometimes I forget how to spell. I don't know if it happens to you, but I do. But I think I'm right in this case. Okay. So we got project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The best way to track a project at the program level without getting into the minutia is using milestones. And milestones signify something of significance that you have achieved on the project. So for this project, software, what I would like to see is milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, like that. Same for all the other projects. I want to see those milestones. And we're just going to copy and paste them like that. And we're going to bolden these actual projects like that. Put some color in there so that we got a good grasp of what is happening. Okay, so that's the first stage. You can always put a description in. We're not going to worry about the description. Let's hide that. Who it's assigned to could be important. So you could put the names of the person, the people that it's assigned to. The next big thing is the start and the end. So the status is helpful as well, because here you could choose, oh, this milestone has not started, which should be pretty much everything at the very beginning of all these endeavors, right? They should all be not started. For the project level, you can actually delete the not started, right, until you get into it. As far as the start and the end date, this is what is very important. The start and the end dates. You also want to have in here, let's insert a column. You also want to have in here the duration. This is in the spirit of good scheduling, right? Just have the duration in there. So milestones are generally zero duration, okay? So these will all be zero duration events. But if you wanted to track the entire work leading to the milestone, you could make an exception and you could decide to indicate how long each endeavor will take at the sub-level, okay? So I'm making an exception here. I know that the Puritans will say milestones are zero duration, and it's true, But for the sake of this rather unique circumstance where you're tracking it, you can actually have how long the endeavor would be, okay? Now, I would rephrase it. I wouldn't say milestone to be professional, okay? Because indeed, there's zero durations. So you would have to creatively say something like this. Phase 1, analysis. Phase 2, design. You get what I'm doing? I'm converting the milestone idea. I'm going back to the phase that is tied to the milestone, okay? Phase 3, develop, and you get the idea. Let's insert column here, insert below, insert below. I think I got that mixed up. The good thing about some of these tools is they're rather flexible, like this one. All right, so phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Phase 4 could be test. And phase 5, implement. Implement. All right, so now we have phases that are tied to milestones. So at the back of your mind, this is a milestone ideology. So you're asking the question, how long is this? And when it's done, let's hide that. I'm not sure how that got there. When it's done, you want to know for a fact it's done. So let's insert this column one more time. Should be duration. And oh, we should enter a column name. So let's say duration. I think that's what I missed. That's why it was showing an 8. Okay. So let's say phase 1 is, let's say these are 12, 14, 15, 16 days, 17 days, okay? The next thing you want to do is determine if these phases are tied to each other or if they can run in parallel individually. Sometimes they could, but it doesn't make sense to do it like that because you have constrained resources. If your resources are constrained and you need to do it in like a waterfall fashion, then you know what to do. You got to go link these. You got to link them. All right, so let's link them. Let's link them. Not that, not that, not that. It's so funny how sometimes you forget where all these things are when you don't use them often enough. Okay, let's link these. All right, to get those dependencies, we need to hit this, edit project settings, and we need to activate dependencies. Dependencies enabled. Column name duration exists. Use it to enable dependencies, yes. And hit OK. All right. Now we have duration, and we also have this column called predecessors. We are now going to use the predecessors column to put in what is a predecessor of phase 1, which is task 2. There's none. What is a predecessor of task 3, which is phase 2? So you would put here 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. And when you go back to your Gantt, you should see that these will be linked when we put in the durations. So we put in the durations, we've not got the dates in, so we need to at least get the ball rolling with a start date. So let's put in today's date. And now we've got some linkages, as you can see. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So we're trying to make sure everything is linked nicely. And because we are assuming they are linked in that cascading fashion, we can just very well go ahead and say phase 1, phase 2, whatever that might be called, phase 3. Now, the science of this thing, my friend, is it's more psychological than anything else. If you don't give people milestones and you don't give them durations and you don't give them time boxes, they tend to spend longer than they actually need to. And that is why you should, as a good project manager, even at this level, just having this level of accountability for a team lead or the people working on the project, just having this level, especially when it's predictive. When it's predictive, you should use a schedule. It's dumb not to, because that's what predictive is all about. So same for this. We could just take these as a dummy, put them here. And this is how you will track like 5 projects, 1 spreadsheet, minimum amount of information. Remember how we do this? We're going to make this a predecessor. So this should be 6, and then 7, and then 8. Did we get it? 6. Oh, this will be 8 and 9. Like that, if they are really joined in that way. We can take that same model, and then this will be the predecessor of this will be 10, right? So the predecessor of 12 is 10, not the parent, not the project. So this will be 10, 11, 12. I made the same mistake. 10, 12, 13. There we go. This will be 14, 16, 17, I believe. And this will be 18 here, then 18, 20, 21. 18, 20, 21. All right, you get the idea. We do not call the row, right? This row, and let me just make it completely blue for all of these, because I want to make it clear when you have a project level within a program tracker like this, you definitely don't want these to be mistaken for phases, right? And whenever you're looking at this, you have those blue bars showing you the separations so you can see where everything is happening. There's more accountability, right? You don't need to build a 100-line schedule. You could tell the team lead or whoever's working, hey, track this on your own. So I want to make this very clear. These are our projects, right? These are our projects. So if you've been asked to track using a Gantt chart, actually, it's not really the Gantt chart that does the tracking. It's the human who's looking at the Gantt chart. Typo. The human who is looking at the Gantt chart does the tracking. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people make this mistake of thinking the software does everything for you. No. Garbage in, garbage out. I've done everything from a few line schedules. This is what, 22 lines. I could use this schedule as it is, as puny as it looks, but it's powerful because I can use the power of accountability to track every project on the regular, every time something is due. So let's take a look at the grand finale. So this whole thing is from April to this is a 1-year project you're looking at, a 1-year program you're looking at, 1 year. So we'll call this program view. Honestly, you do not need to, as a program manager or as a program coordinator, depending on what role you play and what you've been asked to do, you don't need to manage the projects for the project managers. Let the project managers manage the projects themselves. Track the higher level milestones. It's funny in the predictive world how difficult we make things for ourselves. All you need is good eyes. All you need is a keen sense of when something is due. You see, I actually removed the concept of milestones, and I put something here of value to my client, which is to be able to track each project phase. Now, on the lower end of things, it's my job to also find out how things are going and how I can be a roadblock remover, an impediment remover. That's what you should be doing, not spending hundreds of hours on a goofy old Gantt chart. The value is not in the Gantt chart. The value is in the accountability. It's in the actions. It's in the questions you ask the project manager. Okay? I hope this gave you some sense of direction as far as tracking programs, as far as tracking projects within the program. Some PMs, some program managers doing too much. Bringing in, think about the foolishness of bringing in 200 lines for each of these. You want to bring in a 200-line schedule for each project, and you think you won't go round the bend in a second? Come on now. This is how to do it. Short and sweet, simple. It's not about the lines. It's not about the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart could help in showing how things happen over time. It could really help management when they want to zero in and they're like, okay, we want to see when this is due, and they ask you questions. Yes. But from your perspective as a program manager, don't kill yourself. And don't do the goofy old, okay, we'll bring in 100,000 lines of schedule and then we'll roll them up into summaries. Okay, good luck. But I would suggest a more transparent, easy to manage. You see, this is what annoys the people in the world of Agile about some of us in the world of predictive. We want everything to be on paper, everything to be documented. You don't need to document everything. You don't need everything in the schedule. All right, I'm done. Thank you very much. Don't forget to share with your friends who are doing big old schedules that should be condensed. Maybe this can help them. Take care and bye for now.